Alright, the sole remaining skeleton takes aim at Sorrow.
I didn't think skeletons had souls.
Sorrow is struck for 5 damage and slowed down to 3 HP.
She's her staff of defense.
Not enough. That's +2 to AC, right?
Yeah.
Not enough. Wintier.
Winter does a twin strike at the remaining skeleton. If the first arrow hits, he will target the imp?
That's 21 squares away. I believe the range on your bow is 15/30, so you'll take a -2 range penalty.
Oh, that's right. First, Wintier moves forward. So yeah, twin strike away. Nope. Critical miss.
Well, no harm, no foul.
How does that happen more than critical hits?
In general, I've been seeing a ton more fumbles today than crits. I think I've seen 1 crit. No, actually, well, 1 crit from the monsters. At least 1 from your side. Morgan critted the white.
Morgan? You've been playing Dragon Age 1?
We went through this a long time ago. The dwarf called the human woman Morgan. I've been calling her Morgan every round.
I heard you say Morrigan.
Oh, no.
I'm probably just hearing things. It's okay. Sorry.
It's okay, because I'm not hearing things.
Alright, Coltaine, roll that death save. Who will come to Coltaine's aid?
Coltaine rolls an 18 and remains stable.
Morgan speaks for the first time and says, I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, come on!
Way to roleplay Steven.
And it fits with the theme.
His characters never say that, it's just him.
His characters never say anything. Actually, Morgan walks her way over to Sorrow, tanking the hit like a boss.
Yeah,
But
she
if he's
doesn't
dazed-
deserve to be a boss.
If he's dazed, he doesn't get to make opportunity attacks, does he?
You're right. Yes. Okay, so there's no opportunity attack. So Morgan, cleverly knowing that Kalarel is dazed, walks over.
I don't think she knew. I think
She's
was
surprised she
attracted
doesn't
to
get
Coltaine.
She lays hands on Sorrow and suffuses her with healing energy. So Morgan spends a healing surge, but Sorrow regains hit points. So Sorrow, you don't use a healing surge, you just regain your surge value of hit points. So Sorrow back up to 13 out of 33. And Morgan then attacks Kalarel but misses. It is now the dwarf's turn to hear the whispers, but he easily fights them off. The claws reach out and pull Morgan. Morgan is visibly wounded, bloodied. Dwarf, who is now being controlled by by Nick.
So Rect moves forward towards Coltaine 5 spaces. Then he draws out his holy symbol and intones in a slightly different accent than before. Pelor bless us in this fight against evil. I am an Irish dwarf.
You know Coltaine is 6 squares away, right?
Yes, but he's not helping Coltaine. He's helping everyone else by blessing them. And it's range 20. Burst
Wait, who's
20.
he doing it on, though? What?
Okay, burst 20, all allies in burst.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong power. What's the power you're using? Bless. Gotcha. I thought he was going over to heal Coltaine. Alright.
He's working his way over. Unfortunately, he wouldn't be able to do anything by the time he got there, so might as well do something useful this turn.
That ends round 7. Round 8. What are we left with? 1 skeleton, the imp, Kalarel, Coltaine is down. Sorrow is bloodied. Morgan is bloodied. The dwarf is good. Wintier is good. Sorrow's up.
Sorrow is going to move away from the Kalarel and hopefully far enough from the portal. And can she do a scorching burst centered on that square?
Is the target a person or is it just a burst?
Well, it just says burst. All creatures in burst.
Target is all creatures in burst?
Yeah.
Then you should be good.
Alright, then I do that.
So it's just to include Kalarel, correct?
28 versus reflex, hit for 7 fire damage.
Sorrow burns Kalarel.
Your mom's fat.
Kalarel beats Morgan with the rod. Morgan appears grievously wounded. General grievously wounded. The imp casts his spell on the dwarf. The dwarf takes 8 psychic damage and is dazed. Dwarf is down to 15 hit points. Bloodied. And the sole survivor, Skeleton, shoots the dwarf for 5 damage, slowing him. The dwarf is down to 10 out of 33. Wintier is up.
Winter does a twin strike. First target skeleton, second target imp. First attack is a 28, hitting for 11 damage. And the second attack is a 20, hitting for 10 damage.
Wintier strikes down that last skeleton and pegs the imp. Coltaine, roll that death save.
That's a 13. Stable again.
Morgan collapses. Wrecked. The dwarf hears the whispers but ignores them. The claws come out for Sorrow, but Sorrow dodges them. Dwarf, 10 out of 33 hit points.
He uses his second wind.
Oh, for a dwarf, second wind is a minor, but it doesn't matter because you're dazed. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, yeah.
He has an action point, though.
Yeah, well, he has to get close to be able to start doing anything. This is so annoying.
Dwarf back up to 18 out of 33.
However, as a free action, he uses the magical property of his dwarven chainmail, just like what Coltaine's wearing, and can regain hit points as if he used a healing surge.
And that brings the
It's also
dwarf back up to 26.
I'm guessing that's something Morgan should have done, but in the spirit of Stephen, probably forgot she had it. And he'll save against dazed. One more question. Using something like religion or arcana, what kind of action is that?
Free.
Well then, since he has unlimited free actions, he's also going to see if his religious knowledge could help him close the portal in any way.
Proceed.
And he gets an 18.
And he starts the second half of the process that will close this portal.
And then he saves, getting a 13 and shaking it off.
Round 8 ends. Round 9. Coltaine still down, Morgan down. Sorrow bloodied. Only Kalarel remains. Wintier and the dwarf are not bloodied. Sorrow's up. Oh, and the imp remains, yeah.
Sorrow will cast another Scorching Burst on Kalarel, again avoiding Morgan. 23 versus reflex, hit for 9 damage.
But Kalarel dispels the flames. Kalarel raises his rod, then stops, turns his head toward the portal, then takes a few steps toward it, kneels and says, "What is thy bidding, my master?" The imp casts its spell on Sorrow, inflicting 9 psychic damage and dazing her. Sorrow down to 4 hit points. Wintier.
Winter gets a little closer to the imp so he can mark it as his quarry. And, oh, he does a religion check on the portal. Rolling for a 13.
Wintier starts to mumble some nonsense, not really knowing what he's doing, and a bolt of energy shoots out of the portal and he just manages to dodge it.
Time to get the hell out of Dodge. Get it? So then he does a twin strike on the imp. But damn! Misses them both, I think. With 14 and a 12.
2 misses, yes. Coltaine, death save.
Coltaine gets a 20, but doesn't have any healing surges left, so he can't get back up. Of course, if he'd had a surge, he would have not died so soon anyway. Still, he's not dying.
Alright, I'm not gonna look it up now, but I think if you don't have the healing surge, you just go to 0, or wait, yeah, you go to 0 and you remain stable.
Oh, you stabilize?
If I recall correctly, I could look it up if you want and be proven wrong, or we can just roll with this.
If you roll 20 or higher but have no healing surges left, your condition doesn't change.
I was trying to throw you a bone, but whatever.
It's fine, he'll be okay. Don't need to keep cheating in favor of Coltaine. I'd be more concerned with Morgan.
Again, the whispers call to the dwarf, but he ignores them. Dwarf is up.
Again, he calls upon his knowledge of religion to start closing the portal. It's a 25.
75% of the way there.
Then he advances on Coltaine and attempts to stabilize him. 24.
Coltaine is stable.
He then uses his action point and uses his Beacon of Hope ability.
That's just disgusting.
Gets a 26 against Will. And all allies in the burst, which is unfortunately only Sorrow, regain 5 hit points.
What about Winter?
He's not in burst 3, is he?
Oh, it's 3, not 5. What about Coltaine?
Coltaine gets 5, but he's still at 0.
What do you mean? So?
Isn't 0
Oh, wait.
plus 5 5?
Oh, that's true. It doesn't matter what negative he's at. As soon as he gets healed, that'll bring him above. It's like it's 0 plus 5.
Exactly.
Oh, then Coltaine gets back up! Oh, I can't
Well, he
believe I
wakes
was-
up, but he's prone.
Whatever. For some reason I was thinking you had to heal back to negative hit points. I don't know why I'd think that. I never thought that before. Didn't have to stabilize him. Oh well.
So Sorrow back up to 9. Coltaine awake at 5, but prone. The Imp also heals, because he considers himself a friend of the dwarf.
No!
That ends round 9. Round 10, things looking a little better as Coltaine is awake, but him and Sorrow are still bloodied, very low HP, but the dwarf and Wintier are looking good. Things aren't looking too good for Morgan. Kalarel is not looking too injured right now, and the Imp is a little damaged. Sorrow's up, dazed.
Sorrow is going to Scorching Burst on the Imp. 9 versus Reflex.
Sorrow misses.
Just gonna roll against the dazed effect. Get a 2 and fail.
Kalarel, again, kneeling before the portal, head cast down. You can hear him mutter, "He will join us or die, my master," before rising to his feet. The Imp goes and hides behind a pillar, like the cowardly little shit it is. Wintier.
Ah, the pussy wanted to kill the pussy. Well, if the Imp's just gonna hide, Winter's gonna change his quarry to... Morgan. No. Kalarel. He does a religion check on the portal. But damn, 3. That's with my +1 to religion.
Another bolt of energy shoots out of the portal and strikes Wintier for 9 damage. As it does so, the runes scribed around the portal seem to grow in strength, and the portal looks like it's beginning to stabilize. The dwarf very quickly realizes that these random mumblings are actually strengthening the portal, and that it is on the verge of stabilizing. Wintier down to 18 out of 30. No more temp HP.
Okay. Winter decides not to do that anymore. And gives Kalarel the old... no, he's gonna mix it up. Gives him a hunter's bear trap. It's for a 22, hitting for 18 damage. I hope.
Hunter's quarry damage only applies on a hit, correct?
Yep.
Aw, are you serious? That missed?
Wintier lets fly an arrow. Kalarel tries to dodge it, and mostly does, but it still grazes his shoulder. So what's the miss? What happens on a miss again?
Half damage, no ongoing damage. Target is slowed till the end of your turn. Oh, 22 is a nice number.
Doug, someone got a 23 before and they missed. Now he's in total defense.
Yeah, but I'm cooler. Is it worth using an elven accuracy on this? No, eh? Well, it doesn't
maybe
matter.
if you could get better than if you got like
Well, I don't
16,
know.
think it might work.
No.
If you're not going to use it on your daily power, what are you going to use it on?
Well, it's not that exciting in daily power. Oh,
Yeah,
fine. I'll
others?
use elven accuracy.
And don't do it because I said it.
I'm doing it because Nick said it.
Great, now he's gonna blame me when he rolls a 4.
Or fumbles.
I think
Oh,
he
the
gets-
plus
just
2
very
will counteract the total defense.
Yeah, but I still have to roll better than I did last time.
which is statistically unlikely. No. Never mind. Nope.
It's a 22!
Alright, so same result.
Winter goes over the shot in his mind, and it's just as ineffective.
Well, it's not ineffective, it's just less effective.
It's as ineffective as the less effective was.
Coltaine.
Coltaine stands up and he looks at Sorrow and says, "We can still do this, Sorrow." Inspiring her.
Sorrow back up to 23 out of 33.
And then Coltaine uses his other action to stand behind Wintier.
Bravely.
He was already brave.
And standing behind the pussy does what?
He's leaning on him for support.
Lean on me.
Lean on, pussy.
Once again, the dwarf ignores the whispers. And the dwarf is up.
So the dwarf advances towards Morgan and Kalarel and again tries to close the portal. Gets a 23.
The dwarf completes the penultimate step to closing the rift.
Didn't I make it go a step backwards?
That was a fail, Doug, not a loss of a success.
Right now it's teetering on the brink. It's at a very fragile equilibrium between stabilizing or collapsing.
He then uses another move action to go and stand adjacent to Morgan.
That ends round 10. Round 11. Sorrow. No longer bloodied.
Okay, now I see that the imp is in cover-ish, I guess. But if I use a scorching burst on that square,
No cover.
no cover, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I do that. 24 versus reflex, hit for 10 fire damage.
Sorrow scorches the imp and it squeals as its melting flesh sloughs to the ground. It is visibly wounded. Bloodied.
Sorrow would also do a religion check to close the port.
Wait, what's your bonus?
Got 29.
Oh, that's okay.
Sorrow comes in to steal the dwarf's thunder, realizing that she could have done this all on her own anyway, as she completes the final step, and the portal begins shrinking, collapsing in upon itself. One last claw reaches out in vain before the portal finishes collapsing.
And I roll a saving throw and get a 12. and I succeed and no longer dazed.
Well, now that the portal's closed, we can just go home. See you guys.
The ritual book that Kalarel left on the bone altar is consumed in a flash of black fire. And as this happens, the rift sparks to life, growing to 2 meters in size for a moment. A claw reaches out, grabs hold of Kalarel's ankle, and as it's collapsing, pulls him in. As the priest of Orcus is being dragged into the Shadowfell, you hear him shout, "No!" And the portal's closed.
He's not Coltaine's father? I guess not. Also, I would have liked to have killed Kalarel. Would have been nice. Get his loot.
And that's where we're going to end for the night.
The imp's lost to die.
It's alright, we can do that next session.
Good session, though. This was fun.
And for you folks listening in from Internet Land, be sure to tune in for our next session in which the Drogans wrap up their adventures in the keep on the Shadowfell. And visit the main blog over at dnd-d.com, where I will post exclusive DM commentary on tonight's session.